Joining me now and the Wrestling Enthusiast podcast on the 100th episode, Super Asia champion and of course the Asia Dream Tag Team champions. Please welcome Baliyan Akki, Mei Suruga, the BestBros. Everybody, welcome to the show. I'm so pumped up for this. I'm so excited.
Yay!
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody, for having us, and specifically for the 100th episode. That's an honor to us, to be honest. Like, we don't do a lot of interviews. It's not like we do one every week or something. But for you to call us for your 100th episode,
Congratulations, 100th episode!
Yeah, congratulations to you, and it really is an honor.
Oh, thank you guys very much, and of course, congratulations to you guys. ChocoPro 200 episodes. Trust me, I was watching, and I had a blast watching it. It was so much fun watching.
Yeah.
So
I can't.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead.
No, please.
No, that's my fault. So I was going to say, yeah. So I guess we could start off. First of all, what was your inspiration to become professional wrestlers?
なんでだったか、家庭
インスピレーション。
プロレスラーになったインスピレーション。ねえ。My first impression was New Japan Pro Wrestling. で、夜にニュージャパンのショーをテレビで見たのよ。たまたま受験勉強中に。それで、あまりにもその勉強の頭だった自分に衝撃が走って、そこからプロレスが好きになった。
Oh, so she says she was just one day she was like studying for her exams. Her main exams were showing up in high school, and she would just wrestling was on TV just randomly. In New Japan Pro Wrestling, and the pro wrestling just for some reason attracted her enough that she really couldn't like focus on anything else while that was going on, and it just became a thing. And since then, she just ran with it.
Oh, that's
couldn't
really
stop,
cool.
And now she's here as a wrestler.
That's really awesome. That's really cool. I really well. And for your inspiration, Baliyan, or I'll call you Akki. How about that?
Yeah, whichever one is good. Nobody actually calls me Baliyan anymore. If I go,
like,
I
call you
sometimes just
Baliyan.
Every now and then. And also, every time she calls me Baliyan, everybody else freaks out because nobody even registers me as Baliyan here at all. Like, unless my ring name is being said while I'm wrestling, nobody ever says Baliyan in Japan. So everybody just says Akki no matter where I go. So
yes, when I am angry.
Yeah. When Mei calls me Baliyan, all of a sudden everybody goes, oh, who? Oh.
Baliyan.
Oh. So that happens. But actually, I'm very used to being called Baliyan. Like wherever I like, if I go back to India, even right now, 99.9% people other than my family would call me Baliyan, because my family, everybody's Baliyan as well. So they can't really call me Baliyan, but everybody, like the people I used to work with, who else? My friends, my teachers, all the elders I knew, literally everybody would call me Baliyan. When I go to Japan, it was really weird getting used to being called Akki, because there was like two friends of mine who would always call me by my nickname. Everybody else would just go Baliyan. That was my nickname, to be honest, my family name. So, but for myself, if talking about wrestling, it was like a very gradual thing. My cousin, my elder cousin, used to live in the cities, and I was a hostel boy, so a boarding school. So we never had TV or anything in our boarding school. So I would show up for summer vacations, and he would show up as well back home, and he would tell us like, oh, there's this guy named like The Rock or Triple H or Stone Cold or The Undertaker and stuff like that, and he would make them sound like legends, like people from mythical stories or something like that. But because I've never seen it myself, and the small cable thing was not a thing in India by then. It showed up 1 year later, I think 2 years later, I think somewhere in there. So I saw it for the first time, liked it a lot. It was fun. It had everything. It had people betraying each other. It has like it had love stories. It has betrayals in love stories. There was fights. There were friendships. There were groups. There were enemies. It had literally everything that and it was live, which was really, it was like watching a movie play out, but it's live for you to see. And it's especially the WWE in that time was very much that kind of product. So it really was very attractive to me, who have never seen anything like it. And it was just a gradual thing for me to be a wrestler, really. Like, it's like in high school, I'm not a serious person when it comes. Like, I think a lot, but I'm not really like, let's do this or something. I have never been able to be serious about anything. Like, I was good with studies because nobody who's not good could get into the school that I was in. But I was never serious about it. I was in science, like quite good marks, but never serious about like. But you have to apply for something when you are in high school and you are about to close out your high school. I applied for nothing, and they were like, "So what do you want to do?" And I'm like, "I don't know, something." and that just continued the whole year. But the thing, it was like, to be a wrestler wasn't even a thought. Like, you can be a wrestler. That thought never registered to me, and anything else just didn't seem serious to me. So my plan originally, if nothing else has happened, my plan would have been, I would have become like either a automobile engineer, probably, very likely, 99%. Or if that was too much work, I would have just had a bike shop, most likely. That's what's gonna happen, because nothing else interests me at all. And then something happened in my high school, which was quite hard. And once that happened and I crossed it, I really felt like, if I can go through this and be okay, I don't think there's anything else that can scare me in life. And I'm like, maybe I can be a wrestler. Actually, I remember telling a friend of mine, saying it, that the hardest thing I can imagine doing it would be wrestling, and it just became very attractive to me by the end of my high school. And I'm like, okay, let's do this. And then literally the first thing my friend asked me is like, how are you going to be a wrestler? And I go, I don't know, somehow.
Yeah.
I will find that out,
Yeah.
That's how it starts. And now I'm here, 8 years in.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's awesome. That's awesome, you guys. That's really, really cool. And please forgive me if I'm all looking down. I have like some questions I've written out, but I also got like some honest, like, I got some other like random questions I could also ask. But it's like cool stuff, like what's been going on recently in wrestling.
Yeah,
so
please,
yeah. So this question is actually for Mei.
Yeah.
What is it like training under Mei Sakura? I know she's one of the most legendary names in Japan, and the reputation she has is just unbelievable. She's multiple world champion. She's definitely has so much students. She trained Riho and Hikaru Shida, both of them former AEW World Women Champions. And what was it like to be under the tutelage of Mei Sakura, such a legend herself, and then you being a student of hers? What is it like?
First, I think I am the luckiest woman like student, because I can wrestle with Mei Sakura, and he teach me a lot. That is my luckiest thing in my wrestling life. Sakura-san is teacher, but I feel we are always fighting.
Yes, rivals.
During lessons.
Yes.
なんかね、さくらさんに教えてもらってるときは、sorry, English, Japanese.
Oh no, go ahead. It's okay.
I'm here. It's okay.
Oh no worries. It's all good. You can speak it in Japanese. You speak it in English. It don't matter. It's all good. Yeah. Go ahead. Continue.
Thank you. なんかさくらさんに教えてもらってるとき、入団してから初めの頃から結構そうだったんだけど、さくらさんはやっぱこう人に教えるのはもちろん上手じゃない？だって今までも何人もさ、
そうだね、
教えてきて、団体も立ち上げて、 周りにいたのはず
だ
っと
ってすごいなんか生徒の中でもすごい人たちがめっちゃいるよね。
そうだったじゃない。だから、まずそういう環境に入れたのは、メイがすごくガトームーブに来れてラッキーだったこと。でも、だんだんさくらさんと一緒にいるうちに、メイは多分これ今教えてもらってるんじゃなくて、なんかいつもなんかさくらさんとなんか戦ってる気分、教えてもらってる時でさえも、なんかすごく決断を早くしないといけないし、自分から考えてさくらさんにぶつけていかないと返ってこないものも
あるね。それが多分一番、それが一番じゃない？さくらさんから何か狙う、なんか教えてもらうときと。
それをメイはここさくらさんの下にいるもとで大事にしてることかな。
So, May, she says, first of all, she thinks she's one of the probably the luckiest woman she know, because the fact that she somehow with good grace was able to choose Got to Move as the place she would start wrestling. She says there's nothing else that could have been as lucky as that. And the reason specifically was because she wrestling was taught to her right from the 0 to 1 to 2 to 3 to 10. The very start of it was taught by Ami Sakura. That was very important. And that's what she says. She's very lucky the fact that that actually happened. And she chose that route. It's like right from the get-go, when you like, Ami Sakura is really good at teaching wrestling. She doesn't agree with it. Like if you ask her, she says she doesn't know how to teach.
Yes.
Like to this day. And it's not like she's being humble. No. Ami Sakura is never humble when it comes to wrestling. Ami Sakura is Ami Sakura. Like if you ask her anything about outside of wrestling, she's very nice. Sometimes even cute, and sometimes even like, oh, I don't know, like very humble. No, when it comes to wrestling, that's just Ami Sakura. There's no 1 to 5th gear. It's just her, 100% brutal, and she is very good at teaching. Let's be honest. She has like the amount of people that nobody even knows outside of Japan. That her students are. She has such an incredible array of students who are mind-boggling, like they have made new styles. Like that's the level of students I'm talking about even now in Joshi world. And so Mei says when she started learning from Ami Sakura, right from like very early on, she realized like she's not really being taught by Ami Sakura. She's fighting Ami Sakura even while she's being taught. That's how it feels. That's how much pressure comes. You're actually fighting her. And not like there's few things like you have to make decisions quick. There's no waiting around and pondering. No. If you want something, if you want to get something, if you want to do something, if Ami Sakura asks you something, no, just do it. It doesn't matter if you do it wrong. No, but just do it. There's no time for hesitations. Number 2, more so than anything, if you don't think on your own and make that a weapon, and go fight Ami Sakura with that, with your own thinking, there's most of the real knowledge you will not get. You have to have your own thing and like take the fight to her while being taught by her. That's actually the situation. That's how you really get the gold. It's like she's a dragon sitting on it.
Yeah.
And she will give you wisdom, but you better bring the fight to that dragon or you will not get the gold. You will get something, but not really the gold. And that mentality, more so than anything, that mentality that was taught to Mei Suruga by Ami Sakura, that what makes you lucky. And I think like Sakura-san would say it often, if I add something to it, that she is not the one who made her students incredible. Like she's not the one who made Riho or Hikaru Shida, or let's just say there was a wrestler who actually passed away, but called Ray Chang. Like she's not, and now Mei, or like she's not the one who made Mei. But I think that's not true at all, because how you think about wrestling, what wrestling is to you, she teaches you that. She doesn't really teaches you moves a lot. Well, she does. She doesn't really teaches you how to act, like how to do, what kind of wrestler you want to be. She will never teach you that, but she will give you all the tools that you do need to be who you can be. And I think that's what is incredible about her, isn't it?
Yeah.
At least that's how it was with me.
Wow.
Yeah,
I mean,
literally.
Sounds like a true legend. I mean,
She is.
go all down. She has everything down from fundamentals.
Hard to admit it once you know her own personal level, though. like
well, she knows Sumi Sakai. Sumi Sakai actually follows me on Instagram. So,
yeah.
Yeah, that's how when during one of the live chats, I was like, oh, you guys know Sumi. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I met her in at a wrestling show in California, in a promotion called PCW Ultra, as she actually wrestled Tessa Blanchard, and she actually won their women's title. And it was so cool. And you know, when at the meet and greet, I met her. She is so nice. I mean, she is so wonderful. And you know, the fact that you know, she actually knows Emi Sakura. I mean, I was like, oh wow, you guys actually know each other. That's so cool. And then of course you guys were having Thanksgiving, because they were having Thanksgiving. Mei Suruga and Emi over there where they're at, because when she was here at the United States, and then celebrating Thanksgiving, I was like, oh, I remember her. So I was like, oh yeah, that's so cool. I mean, Emi is such a legend. I have nothing but respect for her, and I definitely, you know, hopefully one day, you know, if she gets a chance, you know, she'll be wrestling somewhere here, because I'm in Southern California, so like not too far from LA, Los Angeles, and like hopefully one of these days she ends up coming wrestling over here and get booked here someday. But anyway, such a legend. She's such a legendary, and I'm sure she's a nice person. She almost like, it's like she almost like treats her students like they're her kids too. So that's what I like about that. That's really
don't
awesome.
say to her, she hates that. But don't say that to her.
No,
she's like, no. That's what she always says. She does, by the way. She does treat people like that. Not just even her students. She treats everybody who's like young and cute that way. That's how she treats people. It's just, she's nice, and it comes out.
Yeah, that's so cool.
She likes people doing good. Like she's one of the very rare people who see people doing better and gets happy. Yeah, that's her first response when somebody good, like something good happened to somebody who's working hard, or even if we don't know them, like we don't know if they're working hard or not, but if something good's happened to somebody, she feels happy. There are very few people in the world who are that way. Like that's not the normal response. When something goes good, you wanna be a wall to it. You're like, why, like, you know, but she genuinely gets happy when something good happens to people. So it just looks that way.
Yeah, as you could tell. I mean, she's good. She's good people. I could tell for sure she is. So my next question, I guess, who has been probably your favorite opponents, as far as like in any promotion that you guys have gone, not just in ChocoPro, but like in any other promotion, let's say
both of us?
Like let's say, for example, Akki, like DDT Pro or Gambare, or in Mei's case, like for example, Oz Academy. By the way, I saw Oz Academy just recently. So
really?
yeah, and that was actually fun little match you had. That was so funny with the throwing bubbles at your opponent. That was actually hilarious.
Bubble and pro attack.
I laughed when I saw that.
You seem happy.
Yeah.
You were happy in that match for sure. But by the way, who has probably been your favorite opponent that you have faced so far in your careers?
Favorite opponent?
Cable?
No. I have for women's.
Yeah, anybody.
First, I thought my number one rival and favorite opponent is Haruka Umesaki. Haruka Umesaki, we practiced before in Daredemo Joshi Pro Wrestling, which Emi Sakura opened school?
Like a school. It's basically like she said, I will teach anybody who shows up for free. Doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter like what kind of background you have. Even if you don't want to be a pro, if you just want to taste it, if you like wrestling and you want to feel like what it's like, if you just want to get healthy, like whatever, I'll teach them for free. And she made a school called Dare Demo Joshi Pro Wrestling, which means any woman can wrestle.
Oh, that's good.
That's good. So Mei and Umesaki were, let's just say that they trained under Emi Sakura at the same time.
Yes. で、メイが初めて誰でも女子プロレスリングに参加したときは、稲田堤の道場だったの。
Oh, okay.
ヒートアップのね。で、そこに初めて行ったとき、いたのがはるかちゃんだったの。で、まだその時は、プロレスがどんなものかもわからないし、本当に高校から卒業したて、で、まだその、なんか、スポーツ感覚
ですね。
で、誰女に行ってたの。だから、まあ、プロになる前からそう意識してた人でもあったし、プロになった後は、やっぱりこう、ただのスポーツ感覚ではプロレスはできないじゃないですか。だから、その、いろんな、まあ、レスラーとして表に出る人としての意識が芽生えた後の、そのもちろんライバルっていう気持ちもあるし、それが芽生える前の自分のなんかスポーツ的感覚、なんかアスリート感覚の中でも唯一意識してたのがはるかちゃんだったから、そこからやっぱずっと続いてるはるかちゃんへの思いはあるかな。
He says, not just an opponent, like quite a meaningful as Umesaki and Mei actually started training together. The first time she went to train with Emi Sakura, the very first time in Darejo, where they both were training together. It was in the Heat Up Dojo. You guys must have seen like one or two shows we did at Heat Up Dojo where she broke the wall actually. So that dojo, she went there to train, and like Mei just came out of high school. She has no idea what wrestling is. This is her first exposure to it. This is her first training. She's going there to train. She goes there, and up until that point, all she can think of is a sport. She's going to do a sport, but sports is not the only thing you do in wrestling, of course. So the very first exposure she had with somebody who was there with her, who was training as an athlete, and once they became pro, that rivalry has still kept on. Is because of how they started. So Umesaki, who actually debuted for a different promotion and Mei debuted for Got the Move, even though they trained together same time underneath Emi Sakura, students from the same place, but that let's just say the existence of each other has been very much strong for them the whole career. And because of that, according to her, like in her mind, that's the best opponents you can think of. Not just after becoming a professional, even before becoming a professional.
Yeah, it's just a lot of teamwork there, especially, it's really, really, really cool though. I mean, like, hey, it's your favorite opponent and you guys got the fundamentals down, then that's really, really awesome, It's really cool, that's a great story. But anyway, this question's for you, Aki.
Yeah.
I saw your match recently against Soma Takao in DDT.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that was a fantastic match. And then if I could go to recently your match against Minoru Fujita at ChocoPro 200.
Yeah.
I gotta say that was pardon my French. I try to pardon my French. It was holy shit moment. Let me just say that.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was really awesome. And there was another part in the match where I kind of laughed because that when you guys were fighting out the window, and then all of a sudden Fujita's head was on the window, and then your head was getting stuck out the window. All I hear is during commentary, and Antonio Honda was all laughing a little bit, and I'm like,
let me tell you guys why he was laughing. He was laughing for two reasons.
Yeah.
First of all, when I put Fujita's neck through the window, Mei goes, yes, drop his head. She started calling for it. By the way, I could not. The only voice I could really hear through the whole match was Mei. I don't know why, but I could really clearly hear what she was saying. I didn't hear what Antonio Honda was saying. I didn't hear what everybody else was saying. But I did hear what Mei was saying the whole match.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I could specifically hear. And she was saying, drop his head. Literally, like a guillotine. Like, yeah, drop it. And that's why Antonio Honda was like, hey, stop saying that. That's terrible. Like,
He just kept laughing.
so he was laughing on that. The fact that Mei was calling for me to cut Minoru Fusita's head off. Basically, that's why Antonio Honda was laughing.
That was hilarious. I mean, I found that so funny. But yeah, you know, I've seen, you know, your matches, and not just in DDT Pro, but also in Gambare as well.
Yeah.
And I know you're recently being in All Japan Pro Wrestling. So
Yeah.
what's it like working for those organizations, you know, as far as like, you know, wrestling in those and big profile matches? So
it's actually very fun. It's very uniquely fun. Other than like Pro actually knows. The only promotion where I know where like what to do with me. The only person who actually knows what to do with me other than ChocoPro is Pro. Because Pro treats me like a guest. Like they know where I set in. I don't know, like whoever is thinking in Pro when they call me, whoever is thinking of what to do with Akki, they know what to do with Akki. Other than ChocoPro and Pro, nobody knows what to do with me. They call me, but they don't really know where to put me. I can feel it. Like they're like, oh, if you're talking about a talent who can deliver, he can deliver quite high, but we can't really put him quite high. So I can actually, like, whenever I go to wrestle for a promotion and the first talks comes in and then I go there, or like between when they call me out and once I'm really doing the match, so many things always change, always. And the reason is because I genuinely feel like it. Right now, the kind of talent I am, it's hard to put me at like a specific place. It's very easy to wrestle once you know, at least the promoter or the person who's running the place where you're going to know where to put you. Then, you know, they know, okay, we'll have him do this. And then if he can do that better, either he'll go up or he'll go down. But if you can't really put somebody at like a specific place, it's hard to have a box in which you can imagine somebody. And I genuinely feel every promotion I go to, other than ChocoPro and Pro, even Pro, once I like really go for them, they don't really know yet what to do with Baliyan Akki. It's hard for them to put me at a specific place, and because of that, it's always very fun for me. You guys, like, as a talent, as a professional wrestler, it's always fun for me. Like right now, I'm very much in that place in All Japan, because All Japan wants me there. They really do, because they call me out always. Even in like I think the next Korakuen Hall show, I'm pretty sure I'm doing that too. But they always call me. But it's like once they call me, like what do we have him do? I don't know. So like they see that charm. They want to have. They know I have something and they want to have it, but they don't really know where to put me yet. And the same thing I would say happens with DDT. And because that's why I don't do too much DDT. Because they see like, oh, we do want what's happening here. We do want to have a part of it somehow. But when they call it out, they don't really know what to do with it. And they're just like, let's wait out. Let's wait more where we know. And I think that's my relation with most promotions outside of ChocoPro mainly. But it's very fun for me as a talent. Because once you know what you are to do, it's quite easy. It's actually very easy. You just go and you wrestle your heart out. That's all you need to do. But that period of like, you don't really know where you are, that period is very fun. It's like, it's like being in chaos. You haven't settled yet. Yeah. It's like there's too many waves. You're in the sea, but the sea is very wavy right now. You don't know if you will make it. And I think that space is the most it's the place of most creative possibilities, you could say. Because my bed is not made yet. I could shoot very high, or I could just not do anything at all. But because I haven't been set a place, the possibility is always there. And that makes me very happy whenever I go for like promotion, like DDT or Gump or Heat Up or All Japan or even like some indie promotion. So that's very fun to me whenever I do that.
That's really cool. You know, and I think that that's what it should be about. You know, hey, you know, go get booked, have yourself a blast. You know, just have fun, do what you want to do, have a great match out there. I think that's probably one of the best things that you guys probably could do. And hopefully, if you guys ever come back to the U.S., you know, I will try to tag you. If you do a Twitter post and say if you want to get booked out there, I'm gonna tag the promotions because I want to help. I want to help like wrestlers out. You know, I want to help everybody.
Will probably do something in 2022.
Yeah, you know what?
That's my biggest goal this year, by the way.
Yes.
To make sure that BestBros can do something internationally. That's my actual goal. I feel bad for me every time because we can, like, if not for me, BestBros can do something next month, like no joke. But because of me, we can't really. So in 2022, I need to do something so we can do something. Yeah, something like that.
Well, there's plenty of promotions out there. I mean, not just in Southern California, but also all around the America. So, and I think they would be fools not to have you guys around. And I think you guys are very, very talented. You know, you guys are superb. You guys are not Asia Dream Tag Team Champs for nothing. You guys deserve it.
Not for nothing. Thank you very much.
Exactly. Yeah. Speaking of Asia Dream Tag Team Champions, you guys actually defended that title against Chikoshikawa and Kariyama. That was actually a fun little match that I watched, and I really enjoyed that match. I mean, every time I see you guys, you know, you guys do that Spider-Man thing with the windows. You know, I'm like, nah, that's impressive. I really enjoy that. Chi Hyper. You know, or as we say in SoCal, hyper AF. I'm not going to say what it means, but you know, she has so much energy too. And then, you know, what's it like for her? You know, for you guys to be an opponent to her, because I can see like in Mei Suruga's point, they have like a good little rivalry at ChocoPro.
Yeah. What's it like having Chi as an opponent?
Chi as an opponent. Chi is so much weird for me.
Yeah. By the way, let me translate that English to English. She basically saying Chi is very weird, and it's very weird to have her in front of you. Like, not weird because the person is weird. Weird even in the category because having an opponent is easy. We may have a lot of opponents, and a lot of people she has like quite a lot of like an enemy kind of relation with. Like, okay, this is my opponent, but even in all of those, she is weird, right?
Yeah, Chi is weird.
Well, as I always say, you know, what's normal anyway? Because if some people call me weird, and I'll be like, yeah, I think you're weird. You're weird. You're weird. Yeah. I'm like, what's normal anyway? Who cares? You know, and Koshikawa, she's herself, you know.
She is herself. Like,
that's the best thing about it.
It's very charming.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's very charming. Yeah, because you don't see that every day. Like, right. And you can tell the charm is there because so many people gets attracted to that. It's like, she is like raw. I wouldn't even say emotion or passion, just the raw being of herself, in front of everybody. That's very charming. It's daring. It's hard to do. like if I say if seeing like the raw emotions of Mei is very rare. Like, if it's BestBros, we have to be in a certain situation for that to come out. Yeah, it's not there every second of every day, but if the moment demands for it, if we are like just certain title matches and certain kind of matches, it comes out and you can see it. Just that's why like every like the matches in 200, that's why they speak to so many people, because that side of BestBros comes out in those moments. The reason Chia is weird is because that's out always. Right, man?
Yes.
Every second, even when she shakes hands with you, she shakes hands with you with our nose are touching. That's how she shakes hands with you. They're like, yes. And so
almost a boop like the Chris Statlander in AEW.
Yes. She's right in your face. Like here. She gets to here before shaking her hand. So
で、知恵は本当にチョコプロ入ってもう1年以上経ってるじゃない？で、本当に多分一番変わってる。変わってきた。なんかチョコプロ始まった頃はやっぱりこう思ってることはあってもそれをなかなか言ってくれなかったのね。試合の前も試合中も大会でも。チェが本音を言うときはチェがもうベロベロに酔ったとき。そう。
それは一番面倒くさかったよね。
ベロベロに酔ったときしか本音を言ってくれなかったのね。だから私はいつだってベストブローズさんと戦いたいと思ってます。そう。私はまだそっち側にはいない人間。そうそう。これめっちゃ言われたよね。メイさんには私の気持ちはわからない。
Oh, by the way, we are terrible people. If you understood Japanese and what we are saying, I'm gonna translate it, so you're gonna know how terrible it is for us to laugh. But like Mei says, the person who's changed the most, like it's been more than a year now since she joined ChocoPro full time and has been wrestling. She changed the most. The most changed wrestler in ChocoPro, you could say, is definitely Chico Ishikawa. Because when she just joined in, even though she would have things that she wanted to say, she would never say it. She just didn't have that outwardness in her. And it changed regularly, and it's still changing. Like the only time you can hear what she really thinks is when she's just piss-ass drunk. Like when she is just drunk. And she would, like, if BestBros would drink every, like, let's just say in a month, we are free and we are taking a day off and we're just sitting here, let's have a beer. And if she is there, she would drink. And like, she is a lightweight. A very, very lightweight. Like one can and that girl is on the floor. That's how, but she loves drinking. Like very different than Mei. Mei doesn't really love drinking, but she wants to drink. Like that, the passion in her is very strong about that. But it's very lightweight. Chieko Ishikawa loves drinking and is a super lightweight. Like one can and she's done. So she would get drunk and then she would speak what she really wants to say. She would go, I always want to fight BestBros. Super drunk backstage. Night 12 in the night. That's how it's like Tuesday. That's not even a show is closed, or we are not even like scheduled to wrestle each other. And she would go, I've always want to fight you guys. She would go crazy on it. And she would go, I'm not on the, like, in her mind there's like BestBros live in this world and this is the world of like just wrestling world, and she does not live in this world. So she would go, you guys live in a different world than me. And then she would go, and the last straw would be, Mei, you can never understand how I really feel.
You know, that reminds me, like you ever get like drunk phone calls from her in the middle of the night when you guys are sleeping, and she calls you guys, I want to fight BestBros. She does that.
Nah, but like, but I think she does that less and less now, and I think that's because だよね。なんか最近これ少なくなったんじゃない？なんか本音普通に出るようになったから。そう、
本音をちゃんと自分の表現として、プロレスラーとして出せるようになってる。でそれもなんか前はやっぱりチェは迷いながら来てたけど、今はその迷ってる自分すら受け止めて、もう覚悟を決めているから。すごく大会中にそのチェのパッションをより多く感じれるように。
Yeah. So and now she's getting better and better in expressing herself in like an actual wrestling, in actual matches, before matches when she talks. Like just a little while ago she would still have hesitations, but these days she stops that hesitation and just let it go, and she would like, I'll deal with it afterwards. And because she's able to like show all of those things now, it seems more powerful. That actual things she feels, that her emotions, her actual being. You can really see more and more of it. Like Best Bros are Best Bros. It's not like that we are not showing you who we are. We are us always. This is how we are like when we do live stream. This is how we are when we do matches. This is how we are when we do our entrances. Like there's no difference between the interaction we did right now and the interaction we had when we like walked out to Russell Chie and Yonema Kauri in our entrance. We actually had like a fight right before we did our entrance. While we were doing our entrance, we were like bickering like stupid kids. But that's who we are. We are always that when we go back home. Like, so to us, being like this is normal. That's how we are. We are in front of you, whoever, like, that's us. That's Best Bros. She, on the other hand, didn't have that. And now she's bringing that more and more and more and more. And the more she brings it, the more you see her. And the more you see her, the more attractive you get to her. And I think that's what's changing at like a regular intervals.
Yeah, and it's like you guys have a positive vibe, and that's what I really like about you guys, because you guys are, have such a you guys are being yourself. You guys are you are you. That's the best thing about ChocoPro. And I will admit though, when you guys are having Jankin every time, when I want to see Chico Shikawa win, but every time she loses, she always flops, and I'm always laughing every time. And then when I'm on the live chat, sometimes I'll be like, everyone's like, oh, Chi flop. I'm like, Chi's down, Chi is down. I'm always like that. So yeah. It's just so funny. But no,
half of the time somebody drags her away, isn't it? No, like half of the time, because she doesn't leave, somebody has to drag her out.
That happens sometimes. I noticed it too. So it's like,
she's an enigma. She really is.
Yeah, it's
There's
so
nobody
funny.
like her.
So speaking of ChocoPro, I mean, you guys, the reason why I think it has such a good following is because all you guys, Emi Sakura, not just, she's in the States now, but you guys like always have fantastic matches. You guys always improvise great moves. You guys be yourselves, and you guys bring an energy that's unlike any other promotion out there in the world, because you guys do things that that no other promotion would do, and you guys also have such great characteristics, and that's what I like about ChocoPro. And that's with these matches, sometimes you got special guests come in, like you just recently had Shoko Nakajima from Tokyo Joshi Pro. Yeah. By the way, Mei, that was a fantastic match. I loved it. That was a great effort. I know Shoko beat you, but
you do not love that match as much as Mei Suruga loves this match. Let's be very honest here.
Oh, okay.
Mei loved that match more. Okay, let's be honest here, don't you, Mei-chan?
Well, let's talk about that. We talk about that.
Yup.
Yeah.
Yup.
Well, does she want to talk about that? She could talk about that. I mean, yeah. What was it like? Battling Shoko Nakajima, the big kaiju herself.
About Shoko Nakajima? But I just want to say I fall in love Shoko Nakajima after that match becauseメイは何かしらやっぱプロレスを続けていく上で目標とかなりたい自分っていうのはやっぱこう普段探しながらやってるんだけど、中島翔子さんにとは言わないけど、少し自分が今後身につけて大きくなるとしたらっていうものを中島さんが少し持ってた気がするからそれをメイはその試合で感じることができたかなって思います。だからすごく対戦して今は悔しいけど
見つかったものがもっと嬉しい。
だからありがとうリスペクトっていう気持ちの方が多い。
So, it's hard. Like whenever Mei says, okay, I'm gonna translate and put a little bit extra on it.
Okay.
What Mei says, word to word, is basically to her, it was very nice. She really loved wrestling Shoko Nakajima. She loved wrestling her and who Shoko Nakajima is. To her, it's like you wrestle, especially in the time we are in our wrestling career. You're always wrestling, trying to find what you will be or what you will end up being, because we are not done in who we are. Sakura is Sakura. She's know who she is. Masa Takanashi is a wrestler like Masa Takanashi. He's done. He done in the sense like he has found what kind of wrestler he is, and that's who he is. That's why he seems more powerful than us. That's by the way, the only difference between BestBros, Akki and Mei combined and in separately, and Chris Brookes is the fact that Chris Brookes is done being as what wrestler he will become. That's who he is. He will always be Chris Brookes now. That's the wrestler. You know what kind of wrestler he is. We are not done yet. We are still midway the kind of wrestler we will be. I have never wrestled a match like I wrestled against Minoru Fujita, right? That the main event on 200. I've never wrestled like that before. Or Chon Shiryu, to be honest. Chon Shiryu even more so. I've never wrestled like that in my career ever.
Wow. And
that changes me as a wrestler. My destination, if I was going like this, it shifts a bit. But end up same thing with Mei. Like whenever we had a Asia Dream Tag Team Championship match, specifically the Asia Dream Tag Team, we change a lot. BestBros, like if you check our title matches, every match the BestBros are completely different teams. Even though the basic is the same, we change a lot. And I think in that search, Mei says, to her it felt like what she would need. It's not like she wants to become Shoko Nakajima, but what she would need to become herself. Shoko Nakajima has that now. What she would like, wrestling her, let her experience what she would need to have that next evolution in herself. And because of that, she felt really respect for Shoko Nakajima. I feel that too, a little bit. Like, I really do feel like that. Because the thing is, Mei is very good to me. Like, when I look at her as a wrestler, she's very good. And because she's very good, there's the things she can become are varied. She can become a lot of things. I can't really speak that more in like a more descriptive way because it would give away too much. But let's just say the possibilities of what kind of wrestler she can become is very vast. And she can do all of them very good. But there's one that's like at the pinnacle of those. And I think wrestling Shoko Nakajima let her find that path a little more clearly to be the best that Mei can be. Of all the Meis that can be, the best version of her. And I think that match really helped that out. And I really, really like that in that sense. And I think that's what she feels a lot too. It's hard to say that in English though, but I really do feel like that. And that's what she's trying to say, is that to find that path, Shoko Nakajima's match really, really tweaked that a little bit and really helped her. And for that, she really respects Shoko Nakajima and really liked that match.
なんか今すごいはって思い出したことがあるんだけど、
はい。
なんかね、リホさんと2人でインタビュー取った時か、なんかリホさんと話してた時に、リホさんが卒業される前ね、になんかその自分の試合スタイルについて話してたのね。で、その時自分が一番気をつけてること、やっぱどこに行っても普段から意識してることは、やっぱちっちゃいじゃん、ちっちゃいし、やっぱその、まあ、道場はどこって言われたこの市ヶ谷のこの小さい部屋の中になるし、やっぱこう、自分は意図はしてないけど、やっぱこう結構トリッキーって言われることが多いのね。だから、メイが何を一番意識してたかって言ったら、なんかそのただ、なんか奇抜なレスラーっていう印象をつけられたくなくて、だからこそもう基礎だけはもう誰にも負けないし、なんかそういう技術面をメイはそのなんだろう絶対捨てないように、してますみたいなことを話してたのを思い出したの。でその時はこう外に向けて外から見られる自分のために、いわゆる舐められないように、そういうのを意識してたけど、 確か中島さんとの試合の後は、なんかそれをもう、なんか全部これからは自分のために、自分が次に行くステップとして、そういうまあ基礎的なこととか、体的なこととかを意識していこうかなって。
So she says she just remembered something all of a sudden that's very important, and this might be the best part of this interview, to be honest, because she says something. She says something because she's something that she doesn't really say. May it's hard to get her actual thoughts out of her, but she goes. She was talking with Riho before Riho graduated from Gautam and went to AW. Right before that, when it was decided already that she's leaving for AW, but she hasn't left yet. And I think maybe they are doing an interview, or maybe they are just talking backstage together. She doesn't really remember, but she was talking with Riho about the fighting style of Mei Suruga. And like she doesn't really go for it, but Mei's style, especially like more so than now, in that time too, it was being said as tricky. Like she's a tricky kind of wrestler who has a lot of like tricks up her sleeve to really make you dance around her own tunes and then just like, but if you are just that as a wrestler, Mei doesn't want that. She just doesn't want to be a tricky wrestler who has a trick up her sleeve. No. It's not like you don't want to be the wrestler who's like, oh, she has a good character, but that's it. Or she has a lot of tricks up her sleeve and that's it. Or the like, she really didn't want that. When she talked with Vito, it felt like that impression was very strong about her. But she didn't want that. She never wanted it. And same could be said about, like, I can actually add a little bit here. Same could be said about Ami Sakura. Ami Sakura always wants people to have a lot of tricks up her sleeve. Ami Sakura always want to have a lot of color with you, a lot of character, a lot of persona, a lot of like have yourself out there, but wrestle like nobody can wrestle on top of it.
Yeah.
First be a first class, nobody can touch you, incredible wrestler, and then have everything on top of it too. And to me, it's like she never wanted to be that tricky wrestler. But when she wrestled Soko Nakajima now, it really felt like that really came back to her all of a sudden as well. And she like, oh, I really want to pay more attention to my body now. I want to pay more attention to how I look, how I wrestle. The actual caliber of her as a wrestler becomes more of an existence in her head, more of a solid thought. And she felt like, oh, I know now, okay, if I take this route more and this will help me. Like she was able to like untangle a lot of things in her mind from that. And I think not just that match, and I think that the series of match since she has been back from America has been able to help her in that sense quite a lot. And that's the conclusion of that match was the Soko Nakajima match. And I think it's very, very nice. The fact like to herself made things like that help a lot. And I think, by the way, cheers to ChocoPro too, to making her matches in that sequence and making her matches in that sense so she can find those things. Kudos to Master Takanashi.
Yeah.
Right? Incredible booker.
Yeah.
And I'm Sakura too.
Yeah, you guys you're booking these shows. They're fantastic match cards, no doubt about it. And that's, like I said, I always want to tune in, especially when I'm tuning this weekend. For ChocoPro 201, I want to see what's going to happen. You guys are going to be in action. It's going to be fantastic. Yes. I look forward to it. Now you mentioned something about Chris Brookes earlier today.
Yeah.
What's it like working with him doing commentary, English commentary for Tokyo Joshi Pro?
It's weird, but I'm used to it. It's weird. I'm used to it. I'm going to tell you why. Okay. When you are, because I'm used to that relation, even though it has very different colors, I'm used to that relation. Okay, forget about before, because it has always been like this. But ever since ChocoPro, let's just only talk with ChocoPro, because Chris Brookes has been in my life like constantly since ChocoPro started. And that's when I showed up for this time in Japan. I showed up here on 19th and 20 or 21, I think. I showed up here on the night of 19th, and on 21st, I wrestled him in a singles match. Never met him before. I've only met him once. I didn't know they were sitting there, and they were like, I think Chris Brookes, Osprey, B, and I think a lot of people showed up to watch Gato move, a show of Gato move. And in Gato move, we had like a thing where the song is playing and we go around shaking people's hand, like, thank you for coming. That's the kind of company. Like, imagine having the festivity of ChocoPro. Now imagine that having while you're there. That's Gato move. Now imagine feeling that welcomeness you feel on the screen. Now you feel that welcomeness while you're sitting in the chair and people are right in front of you. That's Gato move. That's the only difference, really. So we go around shaking hands, and I didn't know they were sitting there. So I just moved there. I'm like, they're all wrestlers, but I can't just go back now. It'd be weird. It'd be like, oh, I don't want to shake your hands. That'd be like that. So I went like, oh, okay. So I just shook all of their hands. They were like, I think 5 or 6 of them, all European wrestlers. So that's the only time I've ever met Brookes before. And we wrestle for the first time on 21st. I showed up here, we wrestle. That match also like kind of because I changed a lot as a wrestler compared to when I was here, and then I wrestled Chris Brookes. That was a very different match. A lot of people said that as well. And then just the pandemic hit, everything stopped and all that.
Yeah.
My relation with Mei Sakura when ChocoPro started was very much a fight. Like Mei was saying, when she teaches you, it's like you're fighting her. Everything is like that with her. She's very competitive. Very competitive. So when we were doing opening monologues, you have to fight her, or you can't speak. She won't let you speak. Even though you're supposed to translate for her, she still would not let you speak. So like you always have to like push and tug with her. Same with BestBros. We made BestBros. BestBros fight a lot. Really, we shouldn't, but we do. We do a lot. We clash heads a lot. But that's the push and tug that make BestBros who we are. That's why we have a new move every time we wrestle. Yeah. That's why it's like, by the way, when we do a tag move, I want to be faster than Mei. That's a thing. I'm not joking. Like sometimes consciously and sometimes subconsciously. If we're doing, she does the Casadora and I do the rolling, I want to be faster than her when I do the rolling. It like even those little things comes to me sometimes. That's how much push and tug we have between BestBros. Now, those are very different colors. They are very friendly colors. When I'm with Chris Brookes, it's very similar, but more intense. More intense is because I kind of don't like him.
Well, I could tell. I could tell.
Yeah. Yes, most people can tell. You know, so when we are doing commentary together, I'm looking for a chance to dunk his head. I'm not joking. And he's looking for it. If I make a step, if I make one mistake, I say something wrong, I pronounce a word wrong, or if I say something weird, he will not let it go. Yeah. That bastard will stuck to it. He will go like, oh, Akki said it, people, you heard it, he said it. And me too. I'm waiting for it. You say something. I'm gonna bury you today. Today is the day that your Twitter account gets canceled. I'm gonna make sure that you're buried to the ground. Say something, Brookes. And like, you know, that, and we are doing that constantly. The whole show, I'm looking for chances to bury him, and he's doing the same. And that's how that comes about. Like, that's our relation, to be honest, in whatever. Unless we're wrestling. Yeah. When we wrestle, I really don't like him. Like, Chris Brookes as a person, he's a good dude. We just don't see eye to eye. But when we wrestle, as a wrestler, we are very opposite of the spectrum. So we really don't match. It's like oil and water. We really clash.
Safe to say that you guys are not friends, pretty much.
That's true.
Or, I mean, I thought I was going to say frenemies at one point in time, but it's different. I
don't know. Unless we really fight it out, I don't think we can be frenemies. We probably will forever be that, but unless him and me really wrestle, like a singles match or a big match or something like that, unless we get that out of our system, I don't think we can be frenemies. Right now, we are people who can't really stand each other, to be honest. That's who we are right now. Really.
Yeah, even doing the English show you guys did for Wrestle Universe, that thing you guys did last year, man, you guys were like, oh yeah, you guys were like, man, you again,
Yeah. Why are you here?
Yeah,
Get out. Let me speak. You know. Then
I mean, it's a trip though. If I think about it,
it is a trip.
It is.
It's a trip to me.
Yeah,
Every
it
time.
is. It's an interesting little rivalry you guys got going on. I'm gonna go ahead and say I think it's safe to say that. I think.
You can.
Yeah, I hope it is. But okay. So Mei, how was your experience at AEW at All Elite Wrestling when you were with the Killer Queens along with Emi Sakura and then of course Lulu Pencil? You guys were over there in America for a little while. What was that experience? You know, hanging out with the AEW roster and wrestling those matches along with Emi Sakura, or you know, what was it like being over there in AEW?
でも一番 AEW に行ってやっぱそもそもが違う環境じゃない日本からアメリカに行って、まあ、この配信の団体から大きいもうお客さんがねいっぱいいるどころではない会場のとこに行ったのも、まあ、そもそも違う環境で刺激的だったんですけどやっぱ自分が一番変化を感じたのは試合ができない中で自分がなんか何をしたらいいのかっていうのがすごく考えた印象的だった1ヶ月半。っていうのも自分は、まあ、今の生きてる中で一番楽しい時がプロレスで戦ってる時なの。リングの中にいる時が一番自分でいられる、気持ちを発散できるところ、でもそれがなくなって、そういう人たち、桜さんを含めて、見ながらリングサイドにいる、いったらそういうことしかできない中で、すごく私はストレスが溜まった。すごく溜まった。でも、すごく溜まったし、やっぱりこう、さくらさんはさくらさんなりに考えて、何をどうしたらいいんだろうとか、これはやるべきかやらないべきか。でもそういう話もさくらさんとしてたけど、メイは客観的にさくらさんを見ることができてたから、いや、それやればいいじゃない。メイはできないけど、さくらさんはできるんだからやればいいじゃない。なんか今までさくらさんとは立場はもちろんメイが後輩だったけど、あえてアメリカにそういう環境下にいることによって結構フラットな状態で話すことができたりしたのはすごくなんていうの、なんか新しくできた関係性だったかなって思います。
So like Mei said, one of the main things when she went to AW that really was different. Well, of course, she went from like we are only online. That's ChocoPro. No, but like we kind of forget about it every now and then. But we are only online, right? And on the other hand, AW has like 5,000, 10,000 people on that's the shows they do. They I don't think they even do like any venue other than less than 5,000, right? So like so that's the big gap. But even more so than that, the biggest gap was the fact that she couldn't wrestle there. So not being able to wrestle and thinking as to what you will do, how you will present yourself, how can you leave a mark or make an impression when you can't wrestle. That was probably the biggest difference. And like she would talk to Sakura what to do about it, and they would really talk. They would really talk. And to Mei, like of course she's the junior of Sakura, so she can't really like in Japan specifically, she was junior. So you have, like, even though you don't want to, and even though I mean Sakura would love you to not have that, the social norms are the social norms. Like Mei herself couldn't never really cross that line. But when they were in America together, they don't have those social norms. So that was a very new experience to her, to be able to talk with Emi Sakura as equals, as two people who are just brainstorming ideas and just talking face to face. So they would talk about an idea, and Emi Sakura would go like, how about doing that? And Mei would go, well, I can do it. You can. Let's just do it. And like being able to say that you can do it, so just do it. Like having those interactions was very new. They like she found a new relation that she never had before. Even though she always knew Emi Sakura and she always had a relation with her, now the relation was new, but she never had that before. That was very surprising to her. But even more so than anything, of course, not being able to wrestle, that frustration, that because she never went that long without wrestling. Mei has never been injured. And because she has never been injured, she has never really taken time off.
Yeah.
So that was her first time taking time off. So that really came to her as well. But all of it together, the new things that really she realized almost. It's not like they never existed before. She realized a lot of new things about herself and like found almost new things. Those were like really what solidified the AEW as like a almost like very much like an adventure journey where she found a lot of things, you could say.
Yeah.
あとはね、やっぱメイたちは配信の中に生きてるじゃない、だからチョコプロにいる時に関してはやっぱりこう自分が発信しないと、SNS 上にしか自分たちは生きてないから、存在してないのと一緒なのよ。
一緒ですね。
だからチョコプロにいる時はもう自分から発信しないとって思ってた。でもそれ AW に行ったら変わるかなって思ってたんですよ。やっぱり規模も大きいし、見てる数も違うし、
向こうがなんかやってくれるだろう
会場に人もいるし、そう。だけど AW に行っても結局それは変わらないことなんだなっていうのを
それすごいね。
思いました。やっぱりどんだけの人が会場で見てたとしても、テレビで見てたとしても、映るのはほんの一瞬だったり映らないかもしれないし、とにかく人がたくさんいるから、自分がここにいますよっていうアピールをしていかないと、いくらファンの人がツイッター上で自分のことを話してくれても、その本人が発信しないと、その人はもう1週間だけで消えちゃったり、新しい人がどんどん出てくるから、その自分がいるっていう形跡をもう毎日のように残していかないといけない場所なんだなっていうのが分かった。だからそれもだからチョコプロと変わらないじゃんって思ったことですかね。
So she's like one thing that she realized did not change, like all of the things that were different she says before, but one thing specifically is because we live in an online world. That's where ChocoPro exists. Because of that, if we don't do social media and if we don't do something like that, it's like we don't exist at all. Because we only exist online. So to prove that we are here and this is what we're doing, to show that we have to do that all online. She always thought when she would go to AW that would change. Because they have like let's just 10,000 people are watching or 5,000 people are watching in the audience. It's on TV. It's the YouTube is there. It's like they have the very existence of it is quite huge compared to us. Right? The literal existence of it. But when she went there, she realized, no, it really doesn't change. Because even if you are on TV, like how long are you on TV? Did people pay attention? Even if the people who are in the audience talk about you and all that, no matter what, to make your place yours and to let people know that, oh, I exist here. This is who I am. And this is what I did. It doesn't really change. You have to do that even in AW. Like no matter how big their existence is, you have to like, if you don't do that and you don't make attraction, there are new people coming every day.
Yeah.
And they need chances. If you don't make your place solid and really make almost like a flag down on the ground, this is here I am, somebody else will take that space because some more people are coming in every week. So the fact that she realized that that does not change at all really was a surprise to her, and really was like a very noteworthy moment.
Yeah, I mean, every week I'm always watching AEW Dark, and I always see like different people coming in every day or every week, I should say. And it's like, everybody either tries to make the best of it, or you ever need to save them, you never see them again. But
yeah, that's the world of professionals.
Yeah,
that's what competition is.
Yep.
That's what, like, if you are professionals, there will be a hierarchy of people who get up and who don't get up. Like that's the world of, especially entertainment. That's what we choose to be in, and to do that is like, there's many ways to fight in that world, and you find the place where you're the best at, and you just push ahead.
You do the best you can, and that's really cool. Hopefully you guys get the opportunity again, and I would like to see you in AEW, Akki. That'd be really cool. But
that'd be a different beast. Yeah.
But hey, anything's possible. You never know.
Anything's possible.
Yeah. So
especially in this world.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I guess that's it for the questions. I guess we're gonna do this. I'm gonna give you a couple of names. Tell me what you think of them briefly. Like, for example, Yuna Mizumori.
なんか質問が終わって何個か名前言うんですけど、この人に対してどういう印象ありますかとか言ってもらっていいですかって言ってる。
ああ、なるほどね。ユナ・ミズモリ。ユナも、最近自分のパワーに目覚め始めてる気がする。
Mei says, Junamon seems to have started to realize her own power these days. That's what she feels about.
Yeah, I know. Tropical Yahoo. You know what I mean? Yahoo. Papaya, mango, coconut. Yeah, it's, I could go on, but anyway.
I understand.
Tokiko Kirihara.
Oh, I'll take it.
All right.
To me, and there's a lot of in there, to me the most charismatic member of fourth generation. Easy. She is like, there's Chie, there's Sayuri, there's Sayaka. It's quite a diverse cast, but nobody touches Kirihato. She's the best. The things she can do, like, it's not even just as a wrestler. She, as a person, you can touch her. That woman has done everything. I don't know anybody in the world who lives life more than Kirihato Hiko. She really lives. Like, she is beautiful. Like, something has to be wrong with you to not really see. She is beautiful, a beautiful woman. She is, I think, 48 this year, or 49. 48? She is 48 this year.
She's fantastic. She is fantastic.
I wish to God on my knees that I look even half as good at 48, or even now that she looks right now. Like, she lives life. Kirihato Hiko lives life the most. The most charismatic person I know, to be honest. Not just a wrestler. She's incredible.
That's awesome. Sayaka Obihiro.
おひろさん、おみろさんがいなかったら、多分今のガトームーブとチョコプロは、ちょっともしかしたら壊れちゃう人がいたかもしれない。
ですね。
おみろさんがいたから、周りの人たちは自分を保つことができるし、おみろさんの笑顔が本当にみんなを救ってると思う。
Obiro Sayaka, she says, if Obiro Sayaka never existed, there have been quite a lot of people. Like, there was a possibility of people not being able to take the everyday as a wrestler in Gotomu and ChocoPro. There might have been somebody who must have just given up. But like, Obiro Sayaka's smile literally saves people. It really does. That's who she is. I actually agree with that very much.
Yeah, absolutely. She's fantastic. Sayaka.
I'll take Sayaka. Sayaka is from a Japanese audience perspective, which is very important because we are rapidly becoming a very foreign company. Even though we are in Ichigai, Tokyo, for some reason, it seems like we are a foreign company. It feels like that. Even like I get told by that, even like by Japanese fans and Japanese wrestlers almost. I think Sayaka has the biggest potential in the Japanese audience. It probably in all of ChocoPro, to be honest. She has the biggest potential in Japanese audience, I think, which is something.
Yeah. That's and she has a great personality too.
She does. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it really is in the Japanese audience specifically. That is one of the biggest potential, really.
Yeah, that's really cool. Sayuri.
さゆりさんはね、とにかくね、やっぱガトムンとチョコプロの中で繊細なこだわりがすごいのよ。コスチュームももちろん自分で考えたりするし、自分のグッズももうこれって決めないともう出してこないの。だから進むまではすごく時間をかけて進みがちだけど、これって決めたことは本当に自信を持って出してくるから、すごく素敵。
Mei says she likes Sayuri a lot because Sayuri is the most decisive person in ChocoPro and Gotomu. Like she, if it's her goods means like it's her merch or it's her costume or what she want to do, anything. She would take a lot of time to choose anything. She'd really like just rolls over it a lot. But once she decides, or this is it, she's the most confident person in the room. She knows she wants it and she wants it this way particularly. So she says it's really nice watching, according to me. I don't know that side because I'm not involved in that section. They do the let's just say photo shoots or portraits and all those things. So I don't meet that Sayuri, but according to me, she's like very, very, it's very nice seeing that. She's very particular about her own.
Mitsuru-sanに近い.
Very close to Mitsuru, she says, in that sense. And Mitsuru was like that. I knew Mitsuru was like that because we used to drink together. So we would get drunk together, and then you would really see how particular she was. She was one of my best friends, to be honest. Mitsuru was
Masahiro Takanashi.
okay.
Masa-san.
Probably even more or as much as I'm Sakura. Mas Takanashi is the reason I'm here. Mas Takanashi is the reason, at least as much or probably a little bit more, even than I'm Sakura. The reason I chose Gotomu and not any other company. Like, make no mistake, I chose Gotomu. When I showed up in Japan, I used to wrestle a lot of indie shows. Like I would take all shows, like, but the more I chose Gotomu, the less I did outside, like especially the normal indie shows. It just, for some reason, it felt like the kind of wrestler I want to be, or the caliber of wrestler I want to be. If I want to be that, this is the place. And Masa Takanashi, even to this day, is the biggest existence that I chase. I really do chase that man. And I can only say that about him in the world. I chase nobody. Like, I want to beat other people. I want to beat Shin Hagane. And I will probably, very likely, cross him or superpass him as a wrestler someday. Same with Chris Brookes. Same with Minoru Fujita. Actually, 200 was the day. And I really felt like 200, me and Minoru Fujita really talked, like heart to heart. We wrestled like we came up training together. Like we are the same age, same experience. We have always known each other. We have known each other for 30 years. That's how we wrestle.
Yeah.
I have never been able to peel the layers of the man that is Masa Takanashi. That's who he is.
Yeah, that's
he held on too strong. He held on too strong really.
Yeah.
It takes I've had a goddamn axe in my hand and I've been chipping. Believe me, I've been chipping. Just freaking one swing every day. years now, and I have not been able to peel over that guy. That's who Mas Takanashi is. To this day, really, the only man I chase. That's who Mas Takanashi is.
Yeah, and you mentioned Hagani Shono and Chris Brookes earlier. By the way, I want to wish them well. I heard that they couldn't make it to 200, and I heard about that. But I want to wish them the best.
This is such a coincidence. I said two names who couldn't make on ChocoPro 200.
Well, I guess you could. Yeah, but anyway, Lulu Pencil.
ルルはわかんない。自分がパッとルル思いつくことは、ルルは自分の存在してる意味と、そんな意味じゃないな。自分がどれくらいすごくて貴重な選手なのかを認識した途端に世界が変わる選手じゃないかなって思ってます。
Mei says she's not really sure about it, but if the first thing that comes to mind to Mei Suruga when she thinks of Lulu Pencil is somebody who, when she realizes the kind of wrestler she is, the kind of player, the level of player she is, what she represents as a wrestler, the world will change.
Yeah, that's a good way.
みんなは気づいてるから。
Yeah, a lot of everybody realizes that.
Yeah,
but
she captivates a fan base, you know, and that's what's really good. I don't want to say like it's not just like the ultimate underdog, but as well as, you know, the inspirational person of being yourself. And, you know, she's actually, you know, she resembles that remark so well. So that's the thing about it, you know, and that's what I like about Lulu Pencil, you know. Best wishes to her. Hope we see her again, you know. So, these next three names, and then we'll wrap this up. These three names are going to be AEW.
All right.
Chris Jericho.
And you take
Jealousy, my mind.
By the way, I love it when she sings Judas. It's freaking so cool.
I don't anymore. I used to love it. I used to give her the mic. These days she insists I sing too. I'm like, why? Why do I have to sing?
Yeah, that's so funny. And you know what's the funniest thing about it too? And one of you guys' watch-along streams that I saw when Dan Lambert interrupted Jericho's singing of Judas and all that, May was pissed. And I was like,
the problem is when she's pissed, there's nobody else here. She takes that emotions on me. I'm like, hey, I didn't do that. I'm not the one who went, yeah. The Lambert guy did it. I yell at him. And then she yells at TV for a second and then yells at me. I'm like, hey.
Sounds like my nephew. My nephew would get pissed at me for doing something. Like, hey, what are you doing? Stop it. It's so funny.
プロレスラーになった今でもこう名誉ファンでいさせてくれる存在。
That's nice. May says even now it's very rare to be that way, but even now that she's a wrestler and quite a wrestler, Chris Jericho still lets her be a fan. So she's happy about that.
That's awesome.
By the way, I have this might sound horrible, but I do not mean it as horrible.
Okay.
Right now, I have no interest in Chris Jericho, the wrestler. None at all. I do, on the other hand, really want to go to his live show.
Oh, well, there you go.
I do I really want to go to his live show. By the way, I've never been to a music festival. No, that's not true. I actually stumbled on a beach music festival in Thailand once by just chance. Wow. That is the only one I've been to, but I never with my own I want to go, let's go. I've never done that for a music show, any live show of music ever. I've never been. So I really do want to not only that, I've never even felt like the desire to go, but I do want to go to Chris Jericho's live show. I really do. So,
yeah, you know what? That'd be very interesting to go to a Fozzy concert.
That's where I can tell that's where he is right now, and I want to see him in that element.
Yeah, I mean that's really cool. Maybe one day he might perform at Coachella. That's our Southern California. That's one of the biggest.
I do want to do that. Like if I'm in US, and which is a big if, But if I'm in US and Jericho is doing something, I do want to go to his live show.
Yeah, no, it's gonna happen, bro. Trust me, it will. CM Punk.
Oh, I'll take it. CM Punk represents something that I really like about wrestling right now. Is that anything is possible. And I really like that about wrestling in 2022.
Yeah.
Like the fact that he came back and to AEW, he came back very humble, almost like a wise old man. And I love the fact that he shows himself that way. I like that he's slowly becoming more of a pro wrestler by every week. Every week more of a wrestler shows up instead of the old man CM Punk. Like, and that the thing he represents really, like expecting him to wrestle the style of 2022 is not good. I don't want him to. I want him to wrestle like CM Punk, and he's starting to wrestle more and more like CM Punk.
Yeah.
I must say there's one thing if I must say, and I don't know if people agree with this or not, AEW trusts him too much right now because he's CM Punk. That really gives wings to talent.
Yeah.
But it also gives you too much free reign, I also think. Having pressure lets you edit yourself and lets you be better. If somebody up above will criticize you 100%, will, no matter what, they will criticize you.
Yeah.
That lets you be the best because you have to criticize yourself first then.
Yeah.
But what he represents, CM Punk, right now in wrestling world is the best, I must say, version or the best things he brings to wrestling. He represents anything is possible.
Yeah.
The very fact that he exists in AEW right now and wrestles on a weekly basis is a proof of that statement that anything is possible.
Yeah. Yeah. It's he does definitely bring a lot in the pro wrestling business, just so much.
Yes.
And that's what I like about CM Punk, and I was fortunate enough to see him during his WWE days 10 years ago in LA. And, hopefully whenever AEW comes into town, I'm going to first thing I'm going to do is get a front row seat. I'm going to say, hey, I saw CM Punk and 10 years later, that's something I definitely want to see again. So, this is probably going to be a goofy last name to put on there. Dan Lambert. That's for you, Mei.
最後誰来るんだろうと思って、トニーカンかな、メイそうだったら言えないなとか思って。
She was scared that you want to say Tony Khan, so that didn't happen. That's good. But Dan Lambert.
I only asked because
I can't believe that he exists in AEW, to be honest.
Yeah, I only asked because that the time he cut off May, singing.
Yeah, I know, but like the way he talks, the way he do things, how uncensored he is, and you can tell he is uncensored. Yeah. Like the only person censoring him is himself. You know that. The fact that he is in AEW is unbelievable. Because no matter how you think about it, AEW is quite conservative.
Yeah,
they are. Like they are very liberal. They are the way they are very woke, you could say, but they are very also conservative a bit, like in their policies and the way they do things. I don't know if that looks to the audience, but as a wrestler, their decisions looks that way to me. And the fact that Adam Lambert is there is such a monkey wrench in all of that system that I love it.
Yeah, true.
I really do. Like he really is like a monkey wrench in like a well-moving machine. Whenever he shows up, he disrupts things. And by the way, it reminds me of very old school wrestling.
Yeah. Because
there were a lot of characters, especially in like old school wrestling, where things didn't go smoothly.
Yeah.
Things would be a bit icky. A bit like the gears wouldn't smoothly go. But because of that, every now and then you get a very magical moment.
Yeah.
So he reminds me of that old schoolness. in wrestling, and that part, that word, like that reason specifically, I like that he exists in AW.
Yeah,
it makes me nostalgic, really.
Yeah, it does. It brings like an old school feel, and that's
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You know, definitely. You know, it's really interesting to have Dan Lambert there. Okay, so I guess we're gonna go ahead and about wrap this up. Oh, before I do, what do you think about Whiny Tiny?
Whiny Tiny?
Yeah, she's whiny and she's tiny. That's it.
I'm
not joking. I'm so happy she said it. If I would have said it, no joke, people would not let me live.
They would be whiny cutie.
No, I you know it in your heart. The truth came out. That's true. If I have said it, people would have my head on a stake. No joke. If I called her whiny tiny, people would kill me. But because it's the truth, it came out anyways. You can never stop the truth, people. You can never. It is true. It is.
Oh my god! I was laughing
a lot, and you know, the whiny tiny Mei Suruga, everybody.
I was laughing when she basically roasted herself doing that.
I almost
was like,
cried from laughing that day.
Oh my god, that was so funny. I was like, whiny tiny. I was
my favorite. Whiny tiny.
Oh, poor May. I'm pretty sure she didn't mean to do
tell
that.
how kind I is. I called her whiny cutie.
I have a new nickname.
Oh, let's hear it. Let's hear it. I want to hear this.
Then call.
Holy moly, whiny tiny Mei Suruga!
Holy moly.
Holy moly.
Whiny
tiny. Holy moly.
Whiny tiny. Whiny tiny is good. Whiny. Tiny.
Indeed. Holy moly.
Holy moly. Holy moly is good. Holy moly is very old school. It's like 30 years old.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, whiny tiny. You know, someone called me tiny one time, and I'm like a bit of as big as Hoshitango. So, yeah, I was about as tall as him because I'm like 6'4". So I was like, I'm like, you call me tiny? What the heck? What? That doesn't even. But you know, anyway. So I guess we're gonna wrap this up. And
thank you very much for having us, really.
And
it's an honor. I'm happy. It took us quite some time. Sorry about that, but thank you very, very much.
Yeah, just one last question. Yes. What's next for Best Bros? Do we see a Best Bros USA tour, perhaps, maybe? Or who knows?
What's next for us, man? You take it.
Tour?
Yeah. What is maybe tour? Maybe something else. Maybe. What do you see us doing next? Best Brosとしては次はベルトデイズ。今400ちょっとだよ。
ベルトデイズ500.
Belt Days 500. Says May is what she wanna see next.
Yeah.
Belt Days 500.
It's not that far though. I think 3 more months, and we will be 500. Isn't it?
And 3 months to go. They're nearly our birthday.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So
30th of May. Best Bros birthday.
That's
together.
Awesome.
Which is one of the weirdest fact about Best Bros is the fact that we have the same birthday.
You know what? That's why you guys call yourself Best Bros, because you guys have a lot in common. You know, there's a lot.
I really do want to find the person who called us the Best Bros first, because we didn't. Somebody called us in like a live stream. I was explaining to her what a bro is. I think there was like an English stream, and we were like, "What's dude? What's bro? What's mate?" And I think I told her like bro, and she goes like us. I'm like, yeah. And then somebody called us Best Bros, and that just stuck.
Yeah.
And now we are Best Bros.
Yes, thank you, someone.
Thank you, someone out there. I don't know who, but someone.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this without a doubt has been one of the funnest interviews that I probably have ever had. You guys have been a great special guest. It's been a lot of fun. I've had a blast, and you know, I think I really look forward to what you guys do next. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I look forward to what's going to happen in ChocoPro. Hopefully, you guys will come to the U.S. someday, and you know, it's the 2022. You know, it's going to be an interesting year in pro wrestling, and I see a lot of potential. And you guys, I hope you guys reach up to day 500, and you guys could do it. You guys could do it. I know you can.
Thank you very, very much, Eric. It has been fantastic. Thank you very much for having myself, Baliyan Akki.
Mei Suruga.
The Best Bros. Thank you very much. Check it out, people. Check out ChocoPro.
Yeah. All right, check out ChocoPro on YouTube. Check them out also on Instagram and on Twitter. Always follow them. Give Mei Suruga a follow at Twitter and Instagram. Also give Baliyan Akki on Instagram and Twitter. Make sure you guys continue to follow them and support ChocoPro. You know, their donations help them big time. You know, it's really a fun promotion to watch. No paywall, and you know, it's a lot of fun. You can always look at the bright spot of professional wrestling, and ChocoPro is definitely just that. So, you guys, Best Bros, it's been an honor. It's really been it's been awesome, a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen next with Best Bros. And yeah, good luck. You know, I hope you guys win on this coming Saturday. I was going to say Sunday, but you know how the time difference is. Over there, you guys are on Friday, and right here in SoCal, it's still Thursday. It's still Thursday night. So yeah, but nonetheless, though, thank you guys so much. This is so awesome.
Thank you, Eric. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Why are you tiny?
You guys crack me up. All right, you guys. Take care, you guys.